Few figures in professional wrestling history have embodied intensity, color, and raw spectacle as vividly as the Ultimate Warrior. Born James Bryan Helwig on June 16, 1959, he became one of the World Wrestling Federation's most recognizable stars during the late 1980s and early 1990s. To millions of fans, he represented pure kinetic energy, sprinting to the ring, shaking the ropes, and charging through opponents with a whirlwind of power and emotion. His life and career were marked by dramatic peaks, cultural impact, controversy, and a lasting legacy that still resonates in the wrestling world today. Helwig did not begin his athletic career in wrestling. Before entering the squared circle, he focused intensely on bodybuilding. Driven and remarkably disciplined, he developed a strikingly muscular physique that would later become one of his defining trademarks. Bodybuilding gave him two things that shaped his future: a commitment to rigorous training and a passion for physical transformation. He eventually won titles on the regional bodybuilding circuit and pursued the sculpted, larger-than-life look admired during the 1980s fitness boom. These years laid the foundation for his wrestling persona. He learned not only how to build muscle, but how to present himself as a living symbol of power and intensity. Helwig transitioned into professional wrestling in the mid-1980s. His earliest mainstream exposure came as part of the Universal Wrestling Federation tag team The Blade Runners, with another future star, Sting. The duo competed primarily in Mid-South wrestling and other territories, displaying enormous potential. Even then, Helwig's character stood out. He projected unrestrained energy and dramatic charisma rather than subtle ring psychology. Soon, he was recruited to the World Wrestling Federation, where everything about him would be magnified. In the WWF, Helwig became the Ultimate Warrior, a persona that seemed almost mythic. With brightly painted face, neon arm tassels, and frenetic entrance music, he stormed down the aisle at full sprint, something few wrestlers dared to do. Instead of walking, he attacked the ring ropes with both hands, vibrating them as if drawing power from the squared circle itself. For younger fans especially, Warrior seemed superhuman, less a wrestler and more a comic book hero come to life. The Ultimate Warrior's success in the WWF escalated rapidly. He captured the Intercontinental Championship, one of the company's most prestigious titles, defeating the Honky Tonk Man in just seconds at SummerSlam 1988, a moment that electrified fans and symbolized Warrior's brand of explosive dominance. He went on to feud with Rick Rude, another physically impressive star, producing several memorable matches that highlighted both men's strength and contrasting personalities. At the peak of his popularity, Ultimate Warrior was seen not merely as another headliner but as the heir apparent to Hulk Hogan. Hogan had been the face of the WWF throughout the 1980s, carrying the company into mainstream pop culture. Yet Vince McMahon and many within the industry believed the promotion needed a new standard-bearer for the next era. Warrior's popularity with children, marketable look, and intense character made him a natural candidate. His image, muscles, warrior imagery, bright colors, and high-octane entrances, fit seamlessly into the increasingly merchandise-driven wrestling world. The defining moment of Warrior's career, and the clearest symbol of the belief that he would succeed Hogan, came at WrestleMania 6 in 1990. Billed as the Ultimate Challenge, the match featured both Hogan's WWF Championship and Warrior's Intercontinental Championship on the line. In a dramatic, emotional main event, Warrior defeated Hogan cleanly in the ring, becoming the first wrestler to simultaneously hold both titles. It was a symbolic passing of the torch. The image of Hogan handing Warrior the belt while fireworks erupted remains one of the most iconic visual memories of that era of wrestling. The Ultimate Warrior's physique played a central role in his appeal and aura. He exemplified the bodybuilding-influenced look that defined late 1980s professional wrestling: broad shoulders, thick chest, bulging biceps, and a lean midsection. Achieving and maintaining that look required relentless dedication to training. Warrior's regimen reportedly consisted of heavy weight training sessions combined with strict dietary discipline. He focused on compound movements, high-volume sets, and intensity that matched his in-ring persona. This wasn't merely an aesthetic choice, his physique functioned as part of his storytelling. To fans, he looked like someone capable of overwhelming opponents through sheer force and unstoppable will. His training philosophies later evolved into motivational fitness speaking and writing, reflecting how central physical conditioning was to his identity. Even after stepping away from full-time wrestling competition, Helwig continued to promote fitness and personal discipline, presenting the body as a canvas for self-determination and strength. In the storyline world of the WWF, Warrior's character represented an almost mystical presence. His promos were famously wild and surreal, filled with references to cosmic forces, destinies, and warrior spirits. Though sometimes difficult to understand, they were unforgettable. Young fans repeated his phrases, and his intense delivery made every word feel larger than life. His energy compensated for any lack of traditional oration, conveying passion rather than clarity. Yet Warrior's career was not without controversy or struggle. His run as the company's top champion proved shorter than many expected. Business realities, creative disagreements, and personal conflicts affected his relationship with the WWF and its leadership. After holding the WWF Championship, Warrior eventually lost momentum, and Hogan's shadow remained enormous. What seemed like a clear succession plan became more complicated as audience tastes shifted and backstage dynamics changed. Nevertheless, even during times of absence or dispute, Warrior's star power never truly faded. Whenever his music hit, crowds reacted instantly. Beyond titles and feuds, Ultimate Warrior's cultural influence may be his greatest achievement. He became one of the most merchandised personalities of his era. Action figures, posters, t-shirts, and video games cemented him into childhood memories. Many fans who grew up during the late 1980s and early 1990s recall face painting themselves to match Warrior before wrestling with friends in living rooms or backyards. He inspired the idea that wrestling heroes could be kinetic and chaotic, not just methodically heroic like Hogan, but wild, unpredictable, and thrilling. Warrior's career extended beyond his original early 1990s prime. He made returns to the WWF and WWE later, wrestled in other promotions, and remained a point of fascination within wrestling culture. His induction into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2014 served as a powerful closing chapter to his wrestling journey. In his emotional Hall of Fame speech, and again during his final appearance on Monday Night Raw, Warrior addressed his career, his fans, and the meaning of legacy. Tragically, he passed away suddenly on April 8, 2014, just days after those appearances. His death shocked the wrestling world, but it also caused many to reflect on his lasting influence and the poignancy of his final words about how a man's spirit lives on in the memories of fans. James Helwig's life was complex. He was both adored and polarizing, celebrated for his charisma and criticized for personal and professional clashes. But even his critics rarely denied the cultural footprint he left. He was a symbol of the era when wrestling became a worldwide pop phenomenon, blending athletic performance with comic book fantasy and rock concert spectacle. When examining Ultimate Warrior's achievements, several stand out. Intercontinental Champion, WWF Champion, headliner of WrestleMania 6, Hall of Famer and one of the top merchandise-selling stars of his generation. Yet achievements alone do not fully explain why he mattered. He represented emotional connection. Children screamed his name, crowds shook arenas during his rope-shaking frenzies, and his entrance music sparked instantaneous adrenaline. He made fans feel something powerful, excitement, awe, and sometimes bewilderment, and in sports entertainment, that emotional response is the ultimate measure of success. His superb physique and intense training regimen defined his identity, but so did his persona. The face paint, the tassels, the sprint, the energy that seemed untamed. In an age of giants and superheroes, he somehow seemed even larger. For a time, the wrestling world fully believed he would replace Hulk Hogan as the company's leading icon. Even though that succession did not unfold exactly as planned, the very fact that he was positioned for that role illustrates his remarkable impact and the confidence the WWF placed in him.